What's up, hybrids? Welcome back to another episode of the Fandom Hybrid Podcast. This is Hanako, and I am physically here with Casey. Oh. And we are discussing episode 15 of The Walking Dead. The name of the episode is Trust. And we pick up with this episode at the end of the last episode with Carlson and his very mangled body and face on the ground with all the walkers that kind of, had their lunch. And Daryl is there with the Commonwealth soldiers and with Lance, who are trying to investigate to see what's going on. Like we said, what happened? Of course, Aaron and Gabriel are there. They're trying to explain everything, like how everything went to shit. And all of the Commonwealth people are dead, but they're the only two people that survive. And we've been talking about Aaron and Gabriel and their chemistry and their, just liking them together. And even here, when Lance is questioning them, he was like, so let me get this right. You guys are the only survivors after this happened, this happened, this happened. You got attacked. The people in in this building, supposedly, or whoever attacked, killed all of our men, but you two are the only ones standing. They're like, yeah,
sounds right.
That's kind of what happened. And I was like, Lance is probably like ready to call their bullshit. But he asked Daryl, and he was like, what do you think of this? And Daryl, of course, has no idea what's been going on because he's been with the Commonwealth. But he's like, we were on the road for a long time and they can handle themselves. So if they say that's what happened,
that's what
happened. And one of the things I love about this episode, especially when it comes to Daryl and everybody else, so Daryl and Aaron and Gabriel, and then later on when they get to the Hilltop and they're with Maggie, Daryl doesn't have to say anything. Like our group, they don't have to say anything to each other. It's like all they do is look at each other, and you see these very imperceptible nods of the heads, or you can just tell of the communication that's going on between them. And they understand each other. Like Daryl knows that ain't what happened.
Bullshit.
Daryl knows that Aaron and Gabriel's story is bullshit. But he also knows Aaron and Gabriel wouldn't just do all of that without reason.
Right.
Especially given the fact that the Commonwealth is rebuilding Alexandria and they have people back at the Commonwealth that they need to make sure are protected, including the kids.
Right.
So he knows that Aaron and Gabriel would never put that in jeopardy. I mean, Aaron has a daughter. Gabriel still, even though he and Rosita are not really together right now, he's still Coco's other parent. So he wouldn't put them in danger for nothing. But Daryl probably also knows, we had some help. And Lance is not stupid.
Look, when he was like, we'll go to the Hilltop, and Daryl looked at Father Gabriel and Father Gabriel. They knew that, and Daryl knew that looked like, okay, it was Maggie. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Like, but I think at first he was like, why would we go to the Hilltop? And then Lance is like, well, they need to know that there are murderers in the area, blah, blah, blah. And he turns and he just kind of looks at Aaron and Gabriel. Aaron's face is like,
this motherfucker.
But I mean, we've said this. Lance is not stupid
at all.
Lance is not stupid
at all.
But he's so weird because the way that he comes across and he has this, oh, so you expect me to believe, da 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 da. He looks upset, and then he's like, okay. If that's what you say,
creepy
happens.
Smile.
If that's what you say happens, that's what happens. I mean, that's kind of how he comes across.
Creepy.
Very creepy. Like,
he reminds you of one of them, like, Chucky dolls.
I was just about to say the same thing.
Where they just sit there with that painted smile, like
or like, what was it? There was another. What was the other one? Was it The Boy? I think there was another movie that came out a few years ago about a doll.
Because Lauren Cohan was in it.
She sure was. Yeah.
I didn't see it.
I didn't either. I can't. Yeah, there's certain things I can't watch, but just watching the trailers for that, it's creepy. That's what Lance reminds me of. He reminds me of one of these creepy ass dolls.
Ventriloquist doll.
Yes.
That's it. That's exactly what it is.
Yes.
Where he smiles in the head because his hair is so plastic. And he smiles and his head.
That's exactly what he reminds me. Yes, you are right.
Yes.
Creepy.
And there is a ventriloquist dummy movie. I don't know what it's called, but there's a scary movie.
There's a lot of
there's a ventriloquist dummy.
I mean, just anytime movie. You see a movie with a doll in it, the doll is almost always evil. I mean, what was the other one? There was one of the Netflix movies, The Haunting of Bly Manor. I think they had creepy dolls in that one too. Mm-hmm. I think it was that one. Yeah, it was that one. So yeah, nope. Yeah, I don't fuck with creepy dolls.
Nope.
Not at all.
Not at all.
So matter of fact, my daughters had my sister-in-law had bought them like these old porcelain Victorian dolls when they were younger. And my oldest daughter is a horror movie, like she likes those kinds of movies. But after I don't even remember which movie it was, they put those dolls in a box, and I think those dolls are still sitting in the garage somewhere.
Leave them there. They probably move when y'all not looking.
Girl. When I say buried in a box, though, like they're inside a box, and then the box is inside another box with a whole bunch of other stuff in it.
That sounds murderous.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
So, but
my daughter left some when she moved out. I threw them away.
Yeah. So that's what Lance does remind me of. He reminds me of a ventriloquist dummy. Yeah. But he's not a dummy. And he's very smart. And he's very calculating, as we can see in this episode. We see later on. And he's very observant. I said this in the last episode. He's very observant. So I think he notices things that we think he may not notice. And we kind of see that in this episode too. But our group has more of the street smarts because they've been out there for so long. So they know how to communicate with each other. They know how to read each other's body language and symbol or signals and vibes. So you may see some things, Lance, but you will never see the whole picture.
Absolutely
not with our people. No. But we're going to come back to them because we have to talk about these two that's on my shirt. We have to talk about Mercer and Princess. Y'all see my shirt. I'm like, yes, I know the people who are just listening, y'all can't see it, but just go to the YouTube channel and look at the video of this podcast and you will see I have my shirt that Casey made for us a few months ago. It's of the Walking Dead comic book cover with Princess and Mercer on it, and I'm wearing it today because we finally get like some concrete proof that Mercer and Princess are
doing
officially,
they doing it.
They are officially like together. I don't, couple, whatever, that they kicking it, they sexing it, whatever. We got the confirmation in this episode, and I watched this episode maybe a day or two before Casey did, and I texted her as soon as, you see the alarm go off and Mercer's laying in the bed, and then you hear, because whoever's in the bed with him has just woken up. I was like, that bed. And then Princess comes over, she lays over him and she turns off that alarm. I was sitting in my living room like, text Casey. I was like, are you watching the episode yet? She was like, no. I was like, girl,
the first 5
minutes, and I'm already screaming. She was like, whoa, what? You'll see it. You're going to message me when you see it.
And I messaged her when I saw it.
We got some Princess and Mercer. And I like the way that they did this conversation at the beginning, because you can see that right now it is just kind of like they're not boyfriend and girlfriend. They're just kind of getting into it, like they're just having sex and they're just having fun. And it's so funny because Princess was like, hey, we're pretty good at this sex thing. She was like, and I should know because I've had a lot of sex. I don't mean that what? She was like, we are both adults. You've had a lot of sex and I've had a lot of sex. And Mercer just says, I love hearing you talk. And I was just like, I love it, because again, we talk about relationships all the time, not just for The Walking Dead, but for the other shows that we discuss on this podcast, and one of the things I'm always talking about is relationships, and how sometimes you have relationships that are given to us in a story, and sometimes the relationships just don't seem like they mesh well, or the chemistry is kind of off. But from the moment these two got on screen and she started complimenting his eyelashes, I was like, oh, if that's going to be a thing, I'm here for it. Yeah. And then I found out that they were actually a couple in the comics, which I did not know. I was like, oh, okay, I'm here for this. Then you see them, the interactions that they've had in the last few episodes. And then they did a panel together at Fandemic a couple of weeks ago that I got to go to. And just even seeing the chemistry that they have just as friends and as scene partners. And when they talk about their characters and they talk about the amount of care that they put into the prep for their scenes together. And, you know, Paola Lazaro even said on Talking Dead, she said, you know, they call each other when they're rehearsing the scenes. They're like, okay, what can I do to give, what can I give you to make this scene better? Or what, you know, they really talk it out to make sure that they're bringing the best version of these characters to screen. And I really feel like you can see it and you can feel it. Like, these two characters look like they really feeling each other, but at the same time in this scene,
they look like they could date in real life.
They could. I think both of them are in other relationships, but they could. You know, that's one of the things that I think fans, they tend to ship actors together in real life, because a lot of times these actors have amazing chemistry, and it's kind of like,
and you want to see it outside of the show.
Right. But they do say that they are very good friends, and you kind of have to have that kind of bond with somebody when you're having a sex scene, even though we didn't see like the actual sex scene or whatever.
But you laying on a naked man's chest.
Right. Right. And then with these two, you see them talking and it starts out kind of playful. And then Princess kind of makes, you know, she makes a comment about the fact that he seems like he was up most of the night and that he had something heavy on his mind. And you can kind of see him start to close off a little bit with her. And, you know, she was like, I'm just saying, you know, I'm a good listener. And he was like, I said, I'm fine. She was like, okay. Well, I'm just saying. She was like, see, I'm a good listener. And she was, you know, the alarm goes off again. She was like, you're going to be late for work. And she turns over and she just kind of lets it go. And throughout the episode, when we see Mercer, he seems to be like he's in a bad mood, you know, and we know that what's bothering him. Of course, we know this before he even says it, but he killed 2 of his officers in the last episode because they were the assholes who were working with Sebastian to try to get this cash that I'm still like, I'm going to keep saying this. I don't understand the whole, we need cash in a post-zombie apocalypse.
What do the Commonwealth have? Is you buying a necklace or, you know, a gold chain? Like, what do you need in the Commonwealth for $10,000? You know, my mom cut off my supply because it's a record store, a couple restaurants,
and he didn't say my mom, that bitch mother of mine. Excuse me. So they don't like each other because she's called him an asshole, and then he's called her a bitch. So they obviously don't like each other. Which, okay, we'll get on that later. But you know, Mercer's bothered by the fact that he had to kill this man. And then I feel like Mercer seems to be like the type of person that doesn't let people get too close. And he says this, you got to keep
that tough guy persona.
Not even that, but also Mercer doesn't seem like the type of person that trusts people very easily. He doesn't seem like the type of person who lets people in very easily. And he even says as much later on when he goes to Princess to kind of apologize for the way he's acting and to kind of open up to her. And he says, you know, this is all new to me, not just the sex part, but us. Right. It's new. I'm not used to, I'm not used to this. I'm used to, you know, I had to be the one to kind of hold everything together to, you know, that's how I was raised. And that's what I thought I had to be. And he even says, maybe I'm part of the, you know, problem with this place, because he puts on this tough guy persona and that he has everything under control. And as we've seen in the last couple of episodes, Mercer is not really in control of anything. And he's slowly starting to find this out, and it's bothering him.
Oh, yeah.
Because there are things going on behind his back that he's not aware of. And for you to be the face of this community and for all of this shady shit to be going on behind your back, it's almost like saying, because you're the face of the community, you are okay with whatever's going on.
Yeah, because that's kind of what the sister was saying when she met him at the gym.
Right.
Excuse me.
She was like, yeah, so maybe you are just a poster, because he was like, I'm just a soldier. She was like, but you could be so much more. Yeah, the government is Pamela Milton's, but the people, you have the ear of the Commonwealth. You have the ear of the people. Yeah. If
remember that ovation you got walking up from goddamn stairs going to the
Mercer. I'm telling you, if Mercer was the one who was like behind the resistance, the whole of the Commonwealth would probably be like, yeah, we're going to follow him.
Right. That's true. That would be a dope twist, though.
It would. I don't think that's the case.
I don't,
but I think, like I said, over the last couple of episodes, we see that Mercer is starting to get disillusioned with the Commonwealth. Maybe he always has been, but just kept it to himself. But now you have these new people.
Much as said it. Remember when Max, he caught Max with the radio. He was like, he basically trying to do everything he can to make sure that because that's who he's concerned about.
Right.
Make sure that they're okay.
Right.
And you jeopardizing that by being on this radio. Luckily I knew it was you and nobody else did, but so I'm trying to make sure we're okay in this situation, whatever is happening.
Yeah, because he says, you meeting someone outside, he said, is not only dangerous for the Commonwealth, but especially for us.
Right.
So again, I still don't know what that really means. But I feel like with the addition of the Alexandrians in the community now, and Mercer starting to find out a little bit more about who these people are and how they used to live, and just some of the things that he said when they did the tour of Alexandria 1, finding out that Daryl was considered one of the leaders, when he's looking at Daryl like, you're a lone wolf. But if Daryl cared about this community enough to be one of its leaders and to say, yeah, we brought, we fixed things, we helped bring this back.
Over and over again.
Right. That's giving you a different view of this person that you thought was just selfish and was just out for himself. And then you see that he was willing to do what he needed to do to take care of the kids, to also protect the kids, because he and Rosita went and did what Sebastian wanted them to do, because they both have children in the Commonwealth that they need to protect.
Right.
So that's the other thing. And I think Mercer's probably seeing that too, like with the other Commonwealth guards. Yeah, you can put our people together with other people and they'll survive and they'll do things. But again, we've already said this several times before. The Commonwealth soldiers are not trained like our people, because our people were trained in the streets. Right. They've been out there in the trenches. They have a different way of approaching how they fight the walkers and how they look at situations than the Commonwealth does. And you see that even when they are in the house, because again, Daryl has on all the Commonwealth armor. And when he's trying to fight those walkers, he really can't do shit, because you're in this, the armor is constricting you. So, but him and Rosita, they worked well together in order to get the mission accomplished. And they would have done very well, I think, even without Carol and Mercer.
Yeah.
It was just the fact that they had this other person who was not used to that kind of situation. And not only panicked, but again, they put the armor on her to try to make sure she was protected. And that was the thing that ended up getting her killed, because one of the walkers got caught onto her armor and she couldn't get it off. So if she had just been regular, just had the walker guts on her, she might have been able to, she might have been able to live. They may have been able to get out of there. But I kind of think that needed to happen so that Mercer could also see, this is the kind of shit the Commonwealth is doing.
Mm-hmm.
This is the kind of shit that they're getting away with, because Sebastian can't be the only person who's done that.
Yeah. Well, we found out Lazenby. Why do I say Lazenby? Hornsby. Mm-hmm. Know about it.
He knew about it.
So I'm sure he got some kind of cut.
Oh, he got to finance whatever that side project is.
That's true.
Because again, we still don't know what he's doing over there in the plumber warehouse. True. But we know that he is diverting supplies to that other project, which we don't know about. It could be the rebellion. It could be something totally different. Mm-hmm. We don't know. But Mercer's starting to see all of this. And it's starting to weigh on him now, because he's like, okay, how can I be the face of a community or a government that I don't even trust now? Know what the hell going on. Right. And I don't even trust them now. And you look at these people who have just come in, and they all have each other's backs. And we see that in different scenarios. You mm-hmm. see it with Carol and Ezekiel, with what Ezekiel is trying to do. Mm-hmm. Ezekiel, he has healed, or he is healing from his surgery. And he was like, look, I took your words to heart about having a second chance and being able to do something.
Right.
And when he gets caught trying to do that, of course, he was like, he uses Carol's name to get out of it. And he was like, I was hoping your new job came with some connections. That's why I threw your name out there. And Carol was like, what did she say? My father used to say hope was, I don't know, something, but she was looking at him like, you lucky.
Right. You lucky. You lucky I love you.
Not even that. It's just, it's you're lucky that I was actually here mm-hmm. to, because Carol could have been out doing something else as part of her job. True. But anyway, you see how they all have each other's backs. Mm-hmm. You see that with, like I said, Daryl and Rosita. You see it with Carol and Ezekiel. You see it with Eugene and Rosita and Kelly and Connie. Our people have each other's backs, and they know each other well enough.
Whatever situation.
Right. And they know each other well enough to trust each other. Same thing with Daryl and Maggie. Mm-hmm. Okay. So we finally get the 6 months later scene where Daryl rolls up on the hilltop. Mm-hmm. And before we get to that, as they're going to the hilltop, they're going through the woods, and they come across a little small herd of like maybe 7 or 8 walkers. Lance, again, he turns around and he's like, you two take care of this, talking to Aaron and Gabriel. And Daryl was like, the fuck? And he said, well, this is a small group, and I was told y'all can handle yourselves. So Aaron and Gabriel look at each other like, all right, let's do that thing.
You ain't stopping nothing.
Because the way that Father Gabriel took out his machete and just kind of laid it on his shoulder,
let's go,
so lazily.
Let's go.
He was just like, all right, let's
walk in the park.
Right. And Daryl was like, of course, those are 2 of his people. He was like, yeah, I may have on this Commonwealth armor, but those are still my family.
People. They're my family.
So they go and they make quick work of those walkers. And I love the way that they shot it. It was almost like, it was like watching a comic book movie or a comic book, even an animation, because like when Aaron punches through the walker's head, it's kind of like this slow motion effect.
Yeah.
And the same thing when Gabriel slices through the other one, it looked like, if you've watched Underworld, when I forgot you.
I don't watch nothing.
Okay. So in Underworld, the main character, Celine, she is a death dealer. So she kills like werewolves and stuff. But she got into a fight with like the lead vampire. And what she did was she sliced through him, and it did the same thing. It kind of his head slid open. So that's what we see with Gabriel and the machete, and Daryl, of course, he handles a couple of the walkers, but they take care of these walkers.
Because that's what they do.
And Daryl was pissed. Daryl takes the head of one of the walkers is cut off
and kick it.
So he tells Lance, here you go, we saved you a bullet, and kicks the head to Lance. And I was just like, okay. And Lance looks, so he looks down like, Because what Daryl did, that was disrespect. That was disrespectful. And I think he meant it in that way.
Absolutely.
And Lance just looks at it. He was like, and you didn't even break a sweat. I was like, oh my God, this fucker is creepy.
Cuckoo, creepy.
So anyway, they keep marching on. They get to the hilltop. And of course, Maggie and Elijah are up there at the gate. And Daryl has his helmet on.
Mm-hmm.
So when they pull up, Lance, tells her that they're looking. He was like, yeah, so we had a convoy that was attacked. There's some murderers around. We just wanted to, kind of warn you.
Make sure you were safe.
Right. Make sure you were safe. But we also would like to come and, check. And Maggie was like, I don't know anything about that. He was like, I'm sure you don't. So you wouldn't mind us coming in to check, would you? And Maggie is looking like,
hell yeah, man.
Maggie's looking like, no. So Lance turns around to talk to one of the guards. And I feel like he was trying to say, okay, we're going to enter in by force. But why would you do that? This is somebody who you're still trying to get.
That part.
So you're going to try to force your way? Okay, so whatever. So Daryl is like, look, this is not going to go the way you want it to if we force ourselves in. People are going to get hurt. He was like, let me talk to her. And Lance was like, why would you want to do that? Because that's my sister.
Right. I still know her.
Right. That's still my family.
Like, wouldn't that make sense? Yeah. Wouldn't it make sense to try to find the easy way in? You wouldn't make this difficult.
Right. So, Daryl's like, Lance is like, okay, we can come in or whatever. And Megan's like, it doesn't have to be this way. And Daryl takes off the hood, the helmet. Yes, it does. He was like, we're just going to come in, look, real quick, easy. And she was like, you expect me to trust him? He was like, no, I'm asking you to trust me. So when he says that, Maggie, you can see her face, she kind of softens and she's like, okay. But she's worried because they know they were there. Mm-hmm. And I'm pretty sure they got Negan's people stashed away in there somewhere because they couldn't leave them in the apartment complex because they knew Hornsby was going to come looking.
Right.
And if anybody had been left behind, especially with the carnage that was there, they probably would have been killed on sight.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So, Maggie has them somewhere. So the Commonwealth soldiers come in. Lance comes in and he's got this look like, yeah, I'm about to find some shit. And
he didn't find shit.
He didn't find shit. But the way that it played out was so funny because he finds the truck that Maggie took and it's covered up and she says, oh, I was rebuilding the engine. And he's like, oh, okay, well, I'm gonna
fix it.
I come from a long line of gearheads in my family. Maybe I can take a look at it.
Go look at it.
So then he opens it up and he's like, oh, the engine is kind of clean for a truck that's been sitting here. I was gonna say, didn't she just say she was rebuilding the engine? So wouldn't she have cleaned that if she was
at some point of it, wiped it off, did this or something?
Right. So he thinks he finds what's going on. He's like, oh, the relay switch is not connected. I'm going to do this. And let me see if I can start it up. And he really thought this shit was about to start. And it looked like Maggie was worried too, or maybe she was making herself look worried for his benefit to make him think something was going on.
She knew that goddamn truck wasn't going to stop.
So when he gets ready to start the truck and nothing happens, he looks pissed. Like, what the fuck? And he's still trying
How dare it not start?
Right. And Maggie comes around to him. She was like, your people have until sundown
to get the fuck out of my property.
Right. And Daryl's just looking at Lance like, whatever.
Yo, dumb ass.
Lance is pissed. So then we see little Herschel just walking through the hilltop, minding his own business.
He didn't deserve no whooping at this point.
He did not.
Minding his business.
And he was minding his business and he did what he needed to do. Mm-hmm. Because Lance comes out of the cellar. He sees Herschel and he pulls this whole, hey, oh, you're Herschel. Yeah, I've heard you've had a rough life, talking about the fact that he's, he grew up on the road. So taking any interesting trips lately? And Herschel's looking at him like, no. Has your mom taken any interesting trips lately? No. And Lance is like, I really want to be helpful and there's some bad people out there and I don't want anything bad to happen. So if you could just tell me the truth, I can make sure that nothing bad happens. And Herschel's like, Because I really thought he was going to be one of these dumb kids and be like, well, but I forgot.
Then he would have got a whooping.
But I forgot this is Maggie's son. So he was like, yeah, I think I need to go find my mom now. Right. And then Lance comes around and he was like, yeah, you're such a brave guy. And, you should have a treat. And then he pulls out Herschel's hat because I forgot when Herschel got captured, the Commonwealth soldier pulled his hat off and threw it on the ground.
He did.
So the hat was left behind.
Oh, I didn't even pick that up. I was wondering where the fuck he got the hat from.
I saw it when I rewatched it yesterday. I was like, oh shit, he did. Like he sat Herschel down on the bench and he took the hat, like snatched the hat off his head and threw it down on the ground.
Okay.
So he puts the hat on Herschel's head and he's like, oh, look at that. Perfect fit. And Herschel's face just kind of looks when he sees the hat. He's like, because I think he probably forgot that that's where his hat went to too. Mm-hmm. He was like, oh shit. But of course he still didn't say anything. So Lance just puts his hand on Herschel's shoulder and all of a sudden his ass is jacked up on the wall because Elijah has seen it. And Elijah looks like he is about to kill you. So of course you have the Commonwealth soldiers like, put him down, put him down. Maggie and Daryl realize something is going on. So they grab weapons and they run around the corner. And Maggie is looking and Herschel runs to her. He said something bad was going to happen. Elijah said he had his hands on Herschel. Maggie pulled that gun out.
Motherfucker.
And he was like, right. He was like, I think there was a misunderstanding. She was like, people have threatened my family before and most of them are dead now. I was like, okay. But the thing that really surprised me, well, I won't say surprised me, didn't surprise me, but given the fact that you're supposed to be there with the Commonwealth, I would think that Daryl would kind of stay neutral. Daryl was like, no, Daryl pulled up that gun and he started pointing at the Commonwealth soldiers. He was like, hold up, y'all fuck with my nephew, hold up.
Right.
And
but
then,
at one point,
and then he pointed the gun at Lance and said, you came in here looking for something. You didn't find anything. I suggest you I suggest you get the fuck out. And he actually dropped the F-bomb.
He cursed.
Daryl cursed it. He cursed it.
I showed suggested, girl.
She did. She texted me. She was like, Daryl said fuck. And I said, he sure did. He sure did. One of the maybe 2 times we've gotten it in the season, because remember Rosita said it, and I think when Rosita said it was an accident, but they left it in there because she said it when they were fighting on the stairs, the walkers, and Lydia accidentally hit her with the staff. So she said fuck, and they left it in. But let me tell you, Lance was like, he was sitting up there and then all of a sudden, he's looking mad, and when Elijah lets him down because he tells the soldiers to drop their weapons, he pulls that same creepy look. I'm sorry if there was a misunderstanding or miscommunication.
You about to catch these hands. Miscommunicate that.
Then he has the nerve to tell Maggie, I'm sorry we couldn't be friends. I was like, oh, so you basically trying to say that she's an enemy now. But you were the one who came in there.
You came over my house.
Basically, right. You came in my house and accused me of something that you had no proof of. Why would, think about it. If you think about it in a logical sense, Maggie and her people don't have the resources to pull the kind of mission that would have required them to kill all those people. But again, I think Lance also knows, like Daryl said, we were out on the road for a long time, so they know how to handle themselves, talking about Aaron and Gabriel.
But that's all of them.
That would mean all of them, and like we said,
the way they took that building, meticulously started from the bottom going up. Come on now.
Right. And Lance is not a stupid person. So he knows.
And you have to remember, these are the same people that creeped into a fucking outpost and killed 100 people. Or 50 people. Yeah. How many other people?
Lance don't know that. Lance don't know that.
No, but I'm saying.
I know.
These are the same people. So
but Lance don't know that, because if Lance knew that, they probably would not have let them in Commonwealth. They would not have let them in Commonwealth. They knew that's what they were capable of.
Hell no.
So Lance is, they go back, they go into the forest, and Daryl comes to tell Aaron and Gabriel, he was like, we're not going back to the Commonwealth. They're going to stay out here and make us keep looking for whoever, killed them and stole the guns. And Aaron and Gabriel, they're like, well, what about if we find the guns? Like, if we could figure out who stole them, then we could probably, take some of the heat off the Hilltop or get back home. But then Gabriel's like, I think in the last episode, he was like, well, who stole them if it wasn't the apartment people? And we found out that it was Leah. So as they're having this conversation,
Maggie ain't kill her.
And Daryl didn't kill her. So yeah. But anyway, so as they're having this conversation to the side, Lance is somewhere else in the forest. And one of the soldiers comes up and he's like, did you find what you was looking for? Did you find something? And they're like, yeah, we did. So we see Leah in a clearing. She has a tent up and she's actually sharpening the knives on one of the weapons, because the weapons that they have, they're guns and they have a knife on the ends, for killing the walkers. So she hears a snap in the forest and she runs into the tent. Now, apparently she either ran out the back of the tent as they were approaching. So the Commonwealth soldiers, they come in and they look and she starts shooting at them. So she shoots one in the foot, she shoots another in the shoulder. She didn't kill them, but she did injure them. And then Lance comes out. He was like, yo, we just want to talk. He was like, we've been looking for you for a while and you've done all of this. If you're going to kill us and do all this, at least hear what I have to say. So she comes out of the woods and Lance says, I want to offer you a job. And then of course we know from the previews for the next episode, basically he tells her, he was like, I want to see her body when it's done. So apparently he's about to send her after Maggie.
Oh Lord. I knew that though.
Something tells me Leah is not going to survive past this next episode. She's not going to make it into the last third of the show.
Because they're going to have another fight. Because bitch, you shot me.
They got to.
First of all that shit that Leah did to begin with the Higher Watcher, killing everybody, all that. Mm-hmm. And then you thought when you had your sniper.
Even before that, you were part of the group that displaced Maggie. You were part of the group that took over Meridian, killed the residents, ran the rest of them off, and then went looking for the rest of the residents so that you can kill them so they wouldn't come back.
I wonder if we'll now figure out why Pope wanted Maggie dead. I wonder if we'll find that out. Because they never really, I get it. You were trying to take over. We never figured that out. So that's going to have to be something that we have to get an answer to. Because Pope wanted her dead for what? We never even really figured out why.
We did not.
So hopefully, at some point it'd be like, Pope wanted you dead for whatever.
But see, at this point, I don't even think, even though, yes, it would be nice to know why he was after her. I think at this point, it doesn't even.
That was not supposed to do that. Look, it's not even coming up. What?
I think at this point, it doesn't even really matter because Leah has enough of a vendetta against Maggie on her own, just because, like we said, Pope focused so much on trying to find Maggie that he put the rest of his people in danger.
Right.
So I think at this point for Leah, it doesn't matter why Pope wanted Maggie dead. Now she has her own reasons for wanting Maggie dead, because most of her people ended up dead because Pope was so focused on Maggie. And then she ended up having to kill Pope because he was so focused on getting to Maggie that he didn't care about the rest of his people.
Right.
He was basically like, oh, they're sacrificial lambs, but she's the important part. No. So I think now Leah is basically, she probably looks at Maggie as the cause of why most of her family is gone.
But didn't she kill Carver in front of Leah? Yeah.
Well, Leah had gone, but yeah, because she shot at the three of them first because they were leaving and they had to leave Carver behind. Maggie went, shot all three of them.
And then came back and shot Carver.
And then came back, tried to shoot Carver. The gun was empty. So she took the weapon and she planted it in his chest. So she didn't see Maggie kill Carver, but she knows that Carver is dead.
Yeah.
Because, Maggie killed the other two guys.
Yeah, I was saying she knows it.
And could have killed her. But Daryl was like...
she missed.
Yeah, but I mean... Yeah. So Leah's gonna be going to look for Maggie, and
they just need to fight, like a whole lot of.
See, okay,
because it can't be over quick.
It can't. But this is the thing: if you think about what we know about the two of them, we know Leah has combat training.
Yeah, that's true. Maggie don't.
We don't know that because we don't know
what she was doing.
What Maggie has been doing while she was gone. We don't, but we know her shooting has gotten a lot better.
Mm-hmm.
Her aim has gotten a lot better.
She was using bow and arrow now.
She can use a bow and arrow, she can use a gun, and she can use a knife. She can throw a knife and hit her target. She did that to save Negan. And then she did that when she was hunting with Pamela Milton. Like literally.
Right. You're right.
So we don't know what kind of training she has had during that time that she was gone with Georgie. She may have seen some other military people and gotten some training, especially for the most part, she was traveling with a child.
Yeah.
So her subpar fighting skills are not going to get it if she's trying to protect her child. And we know that's more important to Maggie than anything.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking if it does come to hand-to-hand combat between Leah and Maggie, Leah is probably going to get more than she bargained for because I have a feeling Maggie still has some skills that we have not seen yet.
True.
I really feel like that's going to be like the surprise to come in, because if they start fighting, or even if they're not fighting hand to hand, but it's just like guns and kind of surveilling each other or whatever.
Right.
I have a feeling Maggie has more skills than we have seen.
Yeah.
But I mean, even what we've seen of her since she's come back has been impressive, because we know that the Maggie who was there before, she could fight, yes. She could shoot, yes, but not to the degree that she does now.
True.
You know what I'm saying? So again,
Georgie might have had a dojo. We don't know.
I mean, she could have, or we don't really know that much about Georgie. Mm-hmm. We don't know much about her people. But even looking at the twins, when they came with Georgie, the twins looked like they knew how to handle themselves. So
don't play with the twins,
right? So Maggie could have gotten some training from them, but again, I feel like any type of training Maggie could have gotten while she was with Georgie, she would have learned in order to make sure that she was able to protect Herschel.
Right. That's true.
Because it's already difficult enough traveling on your own with a small child. And think about it. When Maggie left, Herschel was still a baby. So you're traveling with a baby. And granted, you're with Georgie and you're with other people, but Maggie said it herself. They have been run out of their communities, or they have lost communities before. So you have to think, being Maggie and going through what she's gone through, she went through the farm, losing the farm. They went through losing the prison. They've gone through losing Alexandria several times.
True.
They've gone through the saviors. So you have to think at some point, if she's with Georgie and she's with, and other communities that have fallen, at some point she's probably like, okay, enough is enough. I need to learn how to really whoop some ass. So I have a feeling we're probably going to see Maggie in a capacity that we have not seen her before. And also because of the change in her demeanor, like Maggie is making decisions that the old Maggie would never have made.
Yeah.
And I know part of that has to do with the after effect of the whole thing with Negan and him still living and all this other stuff. But also, like she said, she was out on the road for a long time by herself, and she saw some things that she never thought she would have to see. So it affected the way that she looked at things and how she approached things. So yeah, I have a feeling Leah can come after Maggie, but something's telling me that ain't what she want.
Yeah,
that ain't what she want.
It ain't gonna be as easy as she
No,
thinks
it's
either.
not. And then if you have like Daryl and Aaron and Gabriel, because we do see in the preview for next week, they are fighting Commonwealth soldiers. So at some point, Daryl, Aaron, and Gabriel had to have turned or had to have been like, okay, you know what? We're not with y'all bullshit. Or they may have overheard something having to do with Mag, and they were like, oh no, this is not about to happen. Y'all are not about to go mess with our sister, because basically that is what she is.
Right.
So at some point, the tide turns and there's this big battle. Whether it's them figuring out that Leah is going after Maggie, and of course Daryl is that's personal to Daryl, so he's gonna have to get involved in that. Aaron and Gabriel are probably gonna get involved in that whole thing simply because y'all want to do this shit and attack us, and then y'all gonna go back and maybe do something to our children or to our people, put them out, whatever. That's not about to happen. Not about to happen.
Yeah.
I will say this: there is a shot in the preview for next week when Daryl throws a gun to Aaron and he catches it and does this, and I was like, that shot was so cool in the promo. You'll have to see it again. It looked like a promo for an action movie. You didn't watch them. You didn't watch it. Oh, okay. So I stopped.
That's why I'm like the promo.
Okay, I thought
what promo?
Yeah,
look, I just watch AMC and I don't watch it again until we watching it, and then I watch it, but it don't.
Okay.
Show no promo.
Yeah, it does. You got
it. Not.
You have
to. If you go all the way to the end, even because I even watched the little inside look, whatever the thing is called. There ain't no promo.
Yeah, they do.
No, they don't.
Girl, you ain't paying no attention. I'm gonna show you. Okay. And I'm gonna show her that they do show the promo, and when we record for the mid-season finale, you're gonna have to
gonna be no promo though.
You're gonna have to once again say she was right. She's gonna have to say,
but they're not gonna give us no promo at the mid-season finale. They want you to sit and be.
No, what I'm saying is the promo that shows us the mid-season finale.
Oh.
Yeah, so she's gonna have to say I was right again. I'm just letting y'all know she's just gonna have to say it.
Maybe.
So anyway, so that's that part of the Commonwealth stuff. Going back, Eugene and Rosita are in his apartment, and they have called Connie and Kelly. And Rosita is basically telling them what's going on, because they're like, okay, Kelly, you're an investigative journalist. You might want to know or might want to print this, because the people in the Commonwealth deserve to know what's going on, that they are sending innocent people to go and get money, and these people are not coming back alive. So when Rosita mentions the woman's name, it kind of triggers something for Connie, and she has Kelly pull out the list of names that was left under her door. And there is a name, April something, that's there. And she was one of the, I guess, missing people. We don't know what the list is for. And Rosita even says there are more names on this list than were in the house. But that means there's something else going on here. We need to figure out what it was or what it is. So I'm going to say this. I'm a little worried. Because if y'all are about to start digging into all this stuff,
somebody gonna die.
I don't want nobody to die, but it's about to be some shit. Because we already know this is The Walking Dead.
Who you think gonna die?
Somebody gonna die. I don't even. I will give that prediction once I see the mid-season finale and see how that goes.
No, somebody got to die in the mid-season finale. Leah.
Well, yeah, she definitely got to die.
With Leah.
Now, here's the thing. I actually like her character. I know a lot of people don't like her character. I actually like her character. I like that she brings a different dynamic to it. She still got to die. Yes, she still has to die. But I actually like the character.
Yeah.
And I like that because of that character, we got to see a different side of Daryl. Cool?
Daryl killer.
I have a feeling that's gonna have to happen. Daryl has to kill her. I have a feeling it's got to happen.
Oh yeah, that
it's gonna have to happen because you know, she was the one that started kind of this whole thing in the first place, because once she killed Pope, she lied and said that Daryl did it.
True.
You know, which again, I understand.
But all her people did. No word. So
yeah,
she the only one that know that lie. Now, anybody, you know what I mean?
Well, I mean, I'm sure Daryl told Maggie. Yeah. But so I mean, nobody. She has no people left unless there's some other Reapers scattered somewhere. But I did read because I forgot to mention this. The soldier the person that was in the church with Alden, that was a Reaper. So apparently the Reaper came in, saw Alden, they got into a fight. And because if you go back and look, Alden's throat was slit. That's how he died. His throat was slit, but he apparently wounded the Reaper enough for the Reaper to die. But yeah, he came in, they fought, and he slit Alden's throat. So yeah, that was a Reaper. So I'm thinking it was one of the Reapers that was in the woods when they got into that big brawl at night. And he probably came across the church looking for some shelter and found Alden. And yeah, so yeah, but I don't think there are any other Reapers around. So it's just her. So nobody else has to know the truth. Like, you literally could be like, okay, you know what? I'm just gonna get my shit and I'm just gonna go. That could be what she was doing as far as getting weapons. She could probably be like, okay,
no, that bitch on revenge. That bitch is on revenge. I'm about to load up and get what I need.
Well, and she about to die. And she about to die.
About to die.
Sorry, she about to die, because even if Maggie doesn't kill her, Daryl will. And if Daryl doesn't, I was gonna say it might be a lot. Well,
no, it won't be Elijah. It has to be one of those two.
You know what? But it could be one of the. It could be if it's. I could see Elijah, Aaron, or Gabriel also killing her, because they don't have any emotion to that. They can be like, oh, this is the bitch that's trying to kill us. Oh, okay, she got to go. Like with Daryl, there will be a little bit of a conflict there, because that is somebody that Daryl loved, you know, and regardless of what other people think.
That's why I think it would be good for Daryl to kill her.
He's gonna have to. But because too, if she comes after Maggie, you know he's gonna feel like that's his fault.
Absolutely.
Like, oh, I should have killed her.
Absolutely.
Instead of telling her to go, because you should have known she was gonna come back. She was gonna come back, and she was gonna try to get revenge. Yeah, because y'all
have to die.
Y'all just took her whole family. Everybody gone.
Or that charm from Daryl for work. Remember, he was like, "Come with me." Maybe he could be like, "Come with me," and she gonna be like, "Okay." And then they ride off into the sunset. And then we have the Daryl and Leah spin-off.
That ain't happening. That is not happening.
You know, he can't. Oh, yeah. Oh, okay.
No.
That's not going to happen. Sorry.
Nope. Too much water under the bridge. Not happening.
Not happening.
Not happening. So, yeah, Leah, she got to die. She got to die.
She's going to die next episode. Or it's going to leave with a cliffhanger where you don't know if Maggie died or Leah died.
Now,
we clearly know. See, it's certain people that can't do a cliffhanger with Maggie, Negan, Daryl, or Carol, because we know them motherfuckers live on.
Right. Now, so this is the thing I did say. So I know that we were waiting. We decided, or somebody decided, that we were going to wait to watch episode 16 so that we could watch it together and do a reaction video and then record it. So I was told to stay off social media yesterday and today, which I kind of sort of did. I didn't see any spoilers, but I did see somebody say that episode 16 was really, really good. Like probably one of the best episodes and one of the best mid-season finales that they've ever aired. But I also saw that they did not leave us on this big cliffhanger that's going to make us wonder what the fuck is going on until they come back for the last 8 episodes. So I think whatever happens in the next episode is going to probably maybe close off maybe a couple of things. The Leah storyline, I think we are probably going to get that done.
Yeah.
As far as the Commonwealth with our people, maybe we get to a point where the line is drawn in the sand, because again, we see Aaron. Well, I saw in the preview that Aaron, Gabriel, and Daryl are fighting with Commonwealth soldiers. So,
with or against?
Like, I think Daryl killed one of them.
Damn. Okay.
So, I think by the end of episode 16, there's going to be a very clear line drawn in the sand.
Mm-hmm.
And our people are probably going to be like, you know what? Fuck the Commonwealth.
Resist.
They're going to be like, fuck the Commonwealth.
Yeah.
So I think that is definitely going to be a thing. Also in this episode, we see with Eugene and his group, he enlists Max because he knows Max has a direct path to Pamela Milton.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, okay, maybe she can get us the information that we need. And so he asked her about it. And at first she's like, I don't know if I can do this. And then when he tells her what happened and says Sebastian did it, she was like, you might have led with that.
Right.
Because obviously she doesn't like Sebastian either.
Nobody,
and she's still kind
nobody likes Sebastian.
She's still kind of conflicted about it. But then when she goes to have her talk with Mercer, because Eugene tells her, your brother knows about this. And she was like, oh, really? So she goes to confront Mercer. And she was like, so when were you going to tell me about the house and the guards and blah, blah, blah? He was like, it seems like you already know. And she's talking to him. And she was like, look, if the Commonwealth is doing this kind of thing, this is something that everybody needs to know. And she's basically like, look, we can't sit back and be quiet about this stuff if they're doing this kind of thing. It's not good. This is not something we need to sit back and be quiet for. And this is, like we mentioned earlier, she tells Mercer, you could do so much more than just being a soldier. Like, you have the ear of the people here.
Mm-hmm.
So I think she's basically telling Mercer, look, don't just be a figurehead. Don't just be a person on a poster. Stand up for what's right. Something. If you're really serious about you need to protect the 50,000 people that are here, then you need to really protect them instead of turning a blind eye to all the bullshit that's going on behind closed doors.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's when she goes back to Eugene and she was like, look, I really wish that I could stay kind of away from this, but I know that something is not right now. And I can't ignore it. I have to act. And they share their first little kiss. And I'm like, oh, Eugene gonna have some love. I don't know how long that's gonna last either. You did not.
Carry on.
I ain't paying her no attention. So anyway, yeah. So Max is like, what do I do? It's so funny because after they kissed, she was like, so what do I need to steal? I was like, oh, she's so cute. She is so cute. So yeah, so Max is all on board. And then Mercer goes to Princess and apologizes for the way he was that morning as far as, kind of being rough. And he opens up to her and he tells her, I killed 2 of my men yesterday. And the thing that's really bothering me is I would do it again, and I don't think at this point, he doesn't tell her why he killed the guards, but I think Princess probably has figured him out enough to know that he wouldn't have done it for no good reason. Right. And so she tells him, look, I'm here for you. Whatever you need, I can listen. She was like, I know I give off this sexy vibe, but I'm a really good listener. She was like, previous experience, personal experience. I know what it's like. So, they go inside her apartment and talk, and I'm sure he probably told her the whole story.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the thing that we have to remember. So Princess, yes, she became friends with Ezekiel, Yumiko, and Eugene, but she doesn't really know the rest of our people. So it's funny when I remember that, because I'm like, okay, yes, she knows them now. She knows, okay, this is their people, but she doesn't have that connection with them. So when I look at her and she's really trying to make things work in the Commonwealth, and she's starting to date this guy who's part of the Commonwealth, you don't see where, she doesn't have that push and pull, like, okay, well, I need to play nice and play by the rules, or else, because she doesn't have that, or else.
Right.
They found her in the city on her own. So she has no loyalty to Alexandria. She has no loyalty to any of our other people, except for the people that she came there with, because they were the ones who rescued her, who saved her from being by herself. But I think the more that she gets involved in this, especially with Mercer, and like I said, Mercer's starting to see that there's more to Daryl than what he thought. And as far as Rosita and everything else about this group of people, when you see the way that they look at things, when you see the way that they react to things, that they have seen more than what the people in the Commonwealth have, because they were out there in the world. So they've seen the ugliest versions of what people can do to each other in the midst of the zombie apocalypse, right? So I think Mercer is probably starting to pay more attention to that too. And if he is thinking about making a change in the Commonwealth, he's probably going to see that, okay, I'm going to need these people help. Because right now he doesn't know who he can trust in the Commonwealth.
That's true.
You had some of your own guards teaming up to do this bullshit with Sebastian because they wanted their cut of money. And I'm just like, okay, that's going to be interesting to see how all of this plays out. Like, okay, so Mercer has Princess on his side. Eugene has Max. And, at some point, you're not going to have Max and Mercer against each other, because that one scene that we see them really share in this episode, you can tell they have each other's backs. They have for a long time. And she tells him, look, you don't have to play protective big brother anymore. I'm a grown woman. I can handle the truth. But Mercer's trying to still protect her. And she's like, yeah, okay, whatever. So you're going to have Max on this end. You're going to have Mercer on this end. And at some point, they're going to have to come together to fight whatever this corruption or whatever it is in the Commonwealth. And then I'm going to be honest, a lot of the bullshit that's going on, I really think that Pamela Milton has absolutely no clue what's going on.
You don't think so?
I don't think so.
No, because you definitely know her son wasn't out sending people to go find some money because she cut him off. Right. So I think, and then, like I said, there's some kind of weird dynamic going on with her and Lance. Now, I know that she knows that Lance is ambitious, but I don't think that she would think that Lance would send innocent people to die. But my question is too, and then also, but wouldn't they know how much money is circulating in the Commonwealth technically? If they keeping that big of a tab, because remember when they first came in, it was the bin of money with the $2 bills and all that. So if you keeping that much track of the money, but is she the one that's keeping track? Because here's the thing too. Oh yeah. I would think if 40 of your people were missing, you would know. Okay. Yeah. But remember, she didn't even know who Tyler was and what had happened to him. Yeah. So I feel like she don't know. She's leading the community, but she ain't connected to the community. She's not. And I think if you think back to the episode where she and Maggie were talking, that's one of the reasons why I feel like Maggie didn't want to be a part of that community, because she looks at them as like the little people, like she's up here. I mean, think about it. In the Commonwealth, you have the hierarchy, you have the tiers, you have the hierarchies, you've got the people who are important enough to come to a gala, and then you've got the little people who have to win a lottery ticket in order to come. Yeah. That's so true, because remember that was even the conversation that Maggie had. She was like, you have a fancy car, you live in a fancy house. Maggie live with her people. Maggie riding with her people. We all about to hop in this regular ass truck and go do whatever the hell we got to do, whether we walking or whatever. I'm right here with you.
Right.
But
Maggie
you're up
is
here.
killing walkers with her people. She's out hunting with her people.
Mm-hmm.
She's not dressed differently. She doesn't live differently.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that was one of the things that Maggie was like, yeah, I'm not down for that. Because again, if you weren't down for that kind of thing before the world fell, why would you want to be down with that now? Like, you have an opportunity to reshape the world from scratch, to do things differently, to do it right, to do it where people are more equal, where there's not that class divide, where there's not that social divide. Yet this is what you're going back to.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm gonna be honest, if I had a choice between the Commonwealth and Alexandria, I would stay in Alexandria, even though, yes, it is more dangerous, but I feel like it's less dangerous for them out there than it is for them to have to deal with the politics and the backhandedness and the two-facedness and all this other stuff.
More like the devil. I know what I'm getting with Alexandria. All the people are equal. Mm-hmm. I don't have to worry about 50,000 people, or an army or any of these other things. Mm-hmm. We know every couple of years we're gonna get, we're gonna have a herd or some whisperers or some wolves or some saviors or something along the line is gonna come disrupt us every few years. But we're always prepared. We always rebuild. Mm-hmm. We always make it back new,
and we always have each other's back.
That part. Mm-hmm. That part. But with the Commonwealth, y'all don't even realize people are missing.
I was gonna say, the left hand don't even know what the right hand doing. Yeah. Like, literally, Pamela Milton has no idea what Lance Hornsby is doing.
And she had no clue what Tyler was. And is there a resistance? Is it? How you don't know that?
And you don't know what your son is
doing. He need a whooping. He need a whooping.
All right, so we're gonna go back. We're gonna go to one other part about this episode, the whole Ezekiel thing. So again, Ezekiel is basically trying to make a difference because he felt bad about the fact that he got bumped up in the line to have his surgery because Carol did stuff for Lance and he owed her favor. And even Ezekiel's like, I don't even want to know what you had to do to put me up there. And, in our real life reality, that could be a couple of things. Like, there are some people who would sleep with somebody else for that kind of favor. Mm-hmm. There's somebody who would kill for that kind of favor. And I think Ezekiel's probably worried that Carol was the one who did you have to kill to get me to the top of this?
That part. Because Carol will bake some cookies and kill somebody.
So what he decides to do is he's like, okay, I'm gonna pay it forward. I got to make sure that I'm doing what I can to make this a better place. So Ezekiel has somehow convinced some of the hospital people, including that cute ass nurse that he had when he got ready to go to his
the guy
his surgery. Yeah. So they're working in the veterinary clinic, quote unquote. But they're taking care of people who are like low on the list for medical care, people who can't afford it. There's a woman right now who needs an appendectomy, and Ezekiel goes to Tommy and says, hey, I have all of the supplies. We have everything we need. I just need you as a surgeon. And we see Tommy is basically self-medicating. We said something during the gala because he was drinking the alcohol, and he was drinking it like somebody who had been an alcoholic before. Mm-hmm. So he has the alcohol, he has the pills. We see he's self-medicated. He just lost the patient, so he's feeling kind of bummed about that. But Ezekiel basically convinces him like, hey, we're trying to do something good because some of these people are not going to make it based on this system that they have here. We got to be able to save people. So Tommy agrees. They get some of the supplies, and like I mentioned, they got caught by one of the Commonwealth guards. Carol is able to get them out, and then Ezekiel's like, okay, well, you're already here. Let me show you what we're doing. Mm-hmm. So he takes her to the veterinary stalls, and she gets to see what they're doing, and she's really proud of it. But they have this conversation. And one of the things that I gathered from this conversation, like one, Carol is very proud of what Ezekiel is doing, as kind of to pay it back. But she also, the way that she talks in this scene, okay, for one, they kind of established that they are not back together during the scene, because she makes a comment after he says something to her. She was like, we're not getting back together, right? And he laughs and he was like, you keep saying that. And she laughs. She doesn't say, okay, yeah, I'm serious.
He getting his boo back.
But the thing that really struck me was when Carol was talking to Ezekiel, and she was talking about how he's such a light to everyone else. And she talks about being in the darkness. I feel like Carol was saying that she doesn't deserve him. Like, she feels like he is one type of person. Like, he's the one that's, positive. He's the one that's trying to make good changes and this and other. And she's like, there's been so much darkness, and that's kind of where she is. And it almost felt like she was saying, I don't deserve part of the light. And he had to tell her, he was like, this light is something that you put a spark in. Like, this is something, we've seen this from the beginning. When Carol first showed up at the kingdom, there was something about her that intrigued him. And I think with Ezekiel, and I know there are a lot of people who don't like them together, y'all will be all right. I'm just saying, y'all are entitled to your opinion. I'm just gonna say y'all will be all right. But no,
is there a divorce in the apocalypse? You just take the ring off.
That's what I think, because you really don't have to go through the whole wedding thing either. So, because anyway. I feel like she really feels like she doesn't deserve him. Like, she deserves to be in the dark. She deserves to kind of be by herself. Because every time she finds happiness, it's snatched away from her. And I think she's probably like, okay, you know what? I just need to stay by myself and not do anything. And Ezekiel's like, no. He was like, everybody is a mix of darkness and light. And you bring that light to me, like you are the spark that created that. And I was like, I was sitting here looking at him, and the way he was looking at her,
he want her back. They gonna get back together.
I was like, damn it, Carol, do you not see the way this man is like the meme?
They gonna get back.
You know how the memes are. Find you someone that looks at you the way Ezekiel looks at Carol, because he was giving her that look, and she was looking like she was falling for it, and then she was like,
let me snap out of this.
Right. She's like, we're not getting back together.
You know how you break the stare, like, okay.
Yeah. But, and then after that, they have an issue with the surgery that Tommy is performing, because the woman's appendix burst as he's trying to do the surgery. So Ezekiel is there, Carol is helping, and eventually they are able to complete the surgery and save this woman's life. And Ezekiel's telling Tommy, he had this joke about, it's just a small procedure. And you can see that Tommy really feels good about it too, because we already know Tommy did not want to be a doctor in the Commonwealth. He did everything he could to lie. Well, he lied about what he was before, because they had him working in a bakery, and he was happy in that bakery. We saw that. And then he got pulled back into being a doctor unknowingly, because Yumiko
threw that around. My brother, a doctor. Right. Hey, where my brother, the doctor?
But basically,
where my doctor brother?
Right. But she was trying to. But she was just trying to find, one, a safe place for their people, and two, she was really trying to find her brother. And why would she think that he wouldn't tell anybody that he's a doctor? You know what I'm saying? But it seemed to work out for the best in this point. Now, I don't know if this is going to keep being something that they're going to do like off to the side, because again, the way that they inventory stuff, somebody's going to realize that those supplies are missing, because even when the guards, what was it, Alvis and Castle, when they were when they were telling Daryl and Rosita about going into the hoard or into the house to get the money, Sebastian said, well, they can't go down there because they keep track of the rounds and they can't shoot their way out of it. Because he was like, and without guns, he was like,
they gonna die.
They can't handle themselves in a war like that, but y'all can. But yeah, so apparently they keep track of all this stuff.
But they ain't keep track of their people. You can keep track of a bullet, but you can't keep track of your people. You can keep track of bullets.
Oh, this is T.
You can keep track of your bullet, but you can't keep track of your money that's circulating. Now you got 400 extra thousand goddamn dollars rolling through.
I'm sipping my tea.
But you can keep track of a fucking bullet. Did somebody count that goddamn bullet Daryl shot in that damn zombie head? Did somebody count that?
I don't know, but you saw when they got to the apartment complex and they were taking inventory, you saw them putting down the numbers like near the bullets. So yeah, they were keeping track of something, and then they were recording stuff in a notebook.
Mm.
So yeah, they're keeping track.
But you're not keeping track of how many people's on that list? 50 people, 28 people. Whatever.
It was more people on the list than they sent to the houses, but we know they sent about 40 to the house.
And so you had three stacks. So you better send about 75 people to find money that don't nobody know is now circulating into y'all system.
My palm looks so
it got lines. I'm just saying. Because you can keep track of the bullets. The bullets is more important than the money.
But again, this is why I say that there's something.
People are a resource.
They're supposed to be. But apparently, if you got folks missing and you don't even know about it, they're apparently not as much of a resource as you say they
not
are.
There. Because I guess they feel they got their army, so it is what it is.
But y'all losing army people too.
Like a mug.
So because
Leah done took out a whole heap of them.
She took out a whole convoy, and then she just shot 2 more. And then I don't even know how many they had.
And then all the ones that was in the apartment complex. Yeah. You ain't gonna notice none of these motherfuckers came back. And
then you got the 2 that were shot by Mercer, and we don't even know what he did with those bodies.
Probably left them there.
No, because he said something about he disposed of them. He told Princess, he said, I shot 2. I think he said something about I shot 2 of my guards and disposed of them or something like that.
I'd left their ass out there.
So I don't know. The Commonwealth, like I said, there's something that's not connecting in the Commonwealth. And Pamela Milton can't be that effective of a leader if all this shit is going on in your community and you don't even know.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe that's why too. Maybe that's why she didn't want to absorb those quote unquote hick towns, as Lance called them, because that's more people you got to keep track of. And then, like she said, you have, if we get these towns, if we absorb them, that means that somebody's going to have to run them.
Mm-hmm.
Because she obviously ain't doing. She can't even keep track of the people that's within your walls,
or the 75 people that's missing. Right? She can't even keep track of her goddamn son. That's one person, one motherfucker to worry about. You can't even keep track of him. Otherwise, he out here
cut his line of credit. The fuck is that gonna do?
Ooh.
So yeah, anyway. So we know that there's about to be a big fight with Leah, with Maggie, Hilltop, Commonwealth. That's about to be a thing. Because at this point now, I feel like it's going to be common knowledge that Maggie is definitely an enemy to the Commonwealth.
Oh, absolutely.
She could have been neutral up until this point. Like, yeah, you know what? Y'all do your thing.
You done pulled a gun out on the man.
Well, I mean, the man touched her son.
That's true.
Let's be honest.
Be fair.
You're a mother. I'm a mother.
I'll fuck you up.
That part. So
he kind of earned out though.
He did.
But even still, he now sees that Daryl turned that gun on his ass so goddamn quick. Like, what is you gonna do?
But I think
Lance about self-preservation. So he ain't, no.
He is. But I think even before Daryl put the gun on him, like when he told Aaron and Gabriel to go handle these walkers, what did Daryl do? Daryl went right along with them and helped them handle the walkers. So it's like right then and there, Daryl let it be known, these are still my folks.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, y'all have me in this apartment and y'all have me doing, Commonwealth Guard or whatever. But notice, even like everybody else is walking around in the guard uniform all the time. Daryl isn't
at all. And I'm just, if you notice, his don't even fit right. If you go back to look at his shit hang down here. And he don't have the top piece that go up here. He don't have none of that. Like, he don't have none of this. He got
Daryl don't be wanting to wear
the armor hanging off like that.
You see, he don't have his helmet on half the time. What was it? Lance told him, put your helmet on. So
right. Lord. Daryl said, fuck this suit.
So yeah, I'm ready to see what this finale, this mid-season finale is about to be out. I want to see how this battle is about to be, because like I said, Maggie and Leah about to throw hands or about to throw guns. They're about to throw something. But I'm sorry, Leah and Collins, I do love you as Leah. I love what you have done with this character. I love what you have brought to her, but I'm sorry, Leah got to die.
You got to die.
We love you,
but
Leah got to die. Especially if you coming after Maggie, that bitch got to die.
Gotta die.
Got to.
And let me just say, Max is giving very 70s vibes with her get up with the wig and the glasses.
I love
giving me Scooby-Doo vibes.
Like, yes, Scooby-Doo vibes. Yes, Velma, very much Velma.
Yeah.
But I love her. I like the fact that she can be so fashionable in a zombie apocalypse.
Okay, because them bell bottoms, I was like, okay, girl.
And the high-waisted pants. I'm loving her fashion sense.
Mm-hmm. She was like, I'm in the apocalypse, but I'm going to be fly.
I mean, she can't go working for the mayor looking bummy.
That's true. But she bringing back.
But yeah, they obviously raided some department stores and some Neiman Marcus and all this other stuff before the world fell, or they probably. But also too, I think once the world fell, and people are going scavenging for things, I don't think anybody was going to the business suit section of Neiman Marcus to get clothes for the zombie apocalypse.
Nah, they weren't.
So all those clothes and stuff were probably still there, and they probably like, oh, okay. And think about it, somebody like Pamela Milton, who was, important before. I mean, her father was the president of the United States when the world went to shit. So she probably had an extensive wardrobe, probably in several different places. And maybe she was able to get all of that and bring it. I don't know. But yeah, girlfriend be dressing. So if Eugene is going to be with her, Eugene going to have to step up his game. He going to have to step up his game.
Goddamn ponytail on.
You leave his rat tail alone. You leave his
tail. It remind me of Coming to America. It do. Okay.
You leave him alone. You leave him alone. He earned that. He earned that tail. That's just like the Oh, I forgot. She ain't watched the Game of Thrones either. I was gonna say that's just like the Dothraki. They don't cut their hair until they're defeated in battle. So he earned that ponytail. He earned it.
He did.
He did. But yeah, he gonna have to step up his game.
Yeah.
Or I will say this: if Max is about to be on our side and she's about to fight with the Commonwealth, she's gonna have to get down and dirty.
She will.
She's gonna have to get down and dirty.
And her brother will too. So
we already see Mercer can get to the we already see Mercer can get down and dirty. Oh, and here's the crazy thing. When I was rewatching the last episode and, they were sitting in the police station waiting for Sebastian to come get the money, did you notice that Mercer had wiped off all the blood from his uniform?
I didn't.
This joker be cleaning up, because even in the episode before that, when he was out with Connie and Kelly, and remember he was killing, when he went to the hospital to look for Tyler, his uniform was clean.
Oh, he stopped by the car wash and hosed himself down.
Like, really? But yeah, anyway. So yeah, Max is either Eugene is gonna have to step it up, or Max is gonna have to get down and dirty. But again, Leah, Maggie, I'm ready to see it. Daryl, Aaron, and Gabriel, whoever they're about to fight, See, that's the promo right there. See?
See this. Okay. I saw it. See, wait, not all of that. Well, I don't remember that. Oh.
Yeah. See?
Oh.
See?
Oh.
Right here. I love that shot.
Okay. See? Okay.
See, I told her.
Okay, we're finna go so we can go watch it. We gotta go now.
So yeah, look, I think we got it all.
And on that note,
on that note, that's it for our show. You can find us online at www.fandomhybrid.com. We are on social media on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Fandom Hybrid. You can you can watch us on our YouTube channel and listen to us on all major podcast streaming platforms. Thanks for listening. We hope you join the conversation next time.